Okay, welcome back to the Vulnerability School podcast. I'm Jenna Jarvis, and today we're here with Hunter Clark.
Yes, ma'am.
He's one of my good friends, and you were on the podcast before.
A while ago, yeah.
This is round 2, and now we're way closer, so it's kind of fun.
For sure, I didn't even know you
Yeah.
when we did the first one.
Do we know we're not like friends at all, really?
So this will be good.
Okay, cool. In the first episode, we went through his journey with pornography and
For
coaching,
sure.
and so much has changed since then. And so we're gonna dive right back into it. Sorry, I decided to microdose and it's hitting right now.
You did?
Yeah, but it's
This
gonna
will be great then.
Yeah. Okay, I'll cut that out.
Just leave. You gotta leave that in.
Okay. So yeah, I want to kind of dive back into your story a little bit for the people
Yeah.
that haven't listened to the first episode.
Yeah.
If you haven't, you should definitely go back and listen to that one.
For sure, we did it with my wife.
Yeah, which is so cool. And like you get the insights on her journey. We're also going to do an episode with her. Well, I'm also going to do an episode with her. But her journey of like loving her body and processing everything.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
But I want you to share kind of your journey a little bit again.
Totally. I feel like my journey is so similar to most guys that live in Utah. I got introduced to pornography at like 9 years old, just looking up like Megan Fox and bikini videos because I saw Transformers 1 and I was obsessed with her. And it started out as like such a curiosity, like just exploring this, oh, I like girls. Like this is amazing. And I think every kid goes through that at one point. Pornography is just this huge dopamine rush and it's so amazing, honestly. After 9 years old, I was growing up, I started to use it as a crutch. Like whenever I felt inadequate, whenever I felt bad, whenever I got rejected, I would always turn to pornography because it was always there, right? Just like any other, bad habit. And through high school, I definitely was addicted. For sure.
I just think it's so cool to hear your perspective because I've heard about pornography and like the addiction to pornography for so long, but I just never really understood that guys were like escaping themselves through it, or it was like a coping mechanism. Like it was just like, oh, I'm just addicted to this and that's just how it is.
Well, yeah, most people view it as like a lust problem.
Yeah.
Which, there is a small part of it that is, lust, but I would say 95% of it is escapism, right?
Yeah.
And so
Wait, really quick too.
Go ahead.
Do most guys you work with, do you feel like they have an understanding of that, or
no?
Okay, really?
No.
Wow.
I think it's becoming more mainstream that people are understanding that. But most guys think they just are addicted to lust. Like I'll ask guys, like, why do you look at porn? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, we got to figure that out.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know this in high school though.
Yeah.
I just thought that I was broken. Like I legitimately thought that I was like overly sexual. I thought I had a chemical imbalance in my brain, and then came up on my mission. And that was the whole plan of like, okay, I'm going to stop before my mission. Right. And I was able to like white knuckle, where you just like grit your teeth and just like don't view, for like 2 months or a month before my mission. And then I left on my mission to Mexico.
Well, that's actually, like, now looking at it from like this perspective, it's so hard that you just like, you had no idea what you were doing. Like, that's really impressive that you did that.
Totally. No, it was impressive. I'll be honest.
Like,
I was impressed with myself.
No tools. Like, it was
No
just like,
tools.
just stop looking. Yeah.
Well, the tools that I had were be more spiritual, which I think is really helpful. But I also think there's a psychological aspect to it that you need to understand.
Yeah.
And just being more spiritual, I think, is just one part. And so I was, reading my Book of Mormon, going to the temple, doing the things, but I couldn't stop. And I just freaking grit my teeth.
Yeah.
And then they sent me down to Mexico. I had a little walnut BlackBerry phone or something, and didn't struggle with porn at all because I didn't have any access to porn. So, I'm on my mission. I'm like, sick, bro. I overcame it. I did it. And then I come home, and like 2 months later, I have a smartphone again in my pocket, and I find myself back in porn.
How did it start? Was it like Instagram videos or something?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, it definitely starts very subtly. Like you'll see something on Instagram and you'll kind of like look. And then like the next time you see it, like you'll click on the profile. and then it just
Even
like
for me, like sometimes
snowballs.
OnlyFans girls will pop up, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so curious, like their content, like I'm
Totally.
just curious to see. So I imagine, like as a guy, how much even more that would be so hard, you know?
Totally. I mean, if we talk about the difference between men and women, like men are much more visually like what's the word?
Stimulated.
Stimulated,
Yeah.
yeah, than women. Like for example, women love like romance novels and they love like the connection aspect. Men like action movies and like video games where it's like very visually stimulating.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And so it of course men are much more drawn to pornography than women. Not that women aren't, because it that also is a big problem. But yeah, so I got off my mission. I'm right back in it, and I'm like, okay, before I date, I'm gonna overcome this. And I just kept doing the same thing over and over and over. Nothing was working, and I had a girlfriend pretty seriously, and I just couldn't overcome it. So I broke up with her. And I was like, hey, I need to work on
This is
myself.
before Sarah.
Before
Yeah.
Sarah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, a few months later, I dated a few more girls and I just kept ending things. I was like, I haven't overcome this. I haven't overcome
But they
this.
didn't know, right?
I didn't tell them, no.
Damn. So it was
Yeah.
just like, hey, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which totally just left them in the dust. And like, yeah, not good on my part. But I just didn't know how to talk about it. I was too scared.
Understandably so, because like even in the
Totally.
last episode, Sarah talked about how like in high school everyone's like, you can't marry a guy that's ever watched porn, ever seen porn, ever struggled with porn. That was such a big thing growing up.
Totally. Yeah. I want to be careful with like, saying it's the church, because I think it's more the culture than the church.
Yeah.
But like Sarah used to tell me, like they would write in Release Society things that they want in a man, and like one of the things was doesn't look at porn.
Yeah.
And that was like, so like no one wants to talk about it, right? Because they're afraid that you're gonna get broken up with if you talk about it. So then I met Sarah, and it just felt so good. Like the relationship just felt so good, and I was like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna tell her. Like I think I'm just gonna get married, and I'm just gonna, once we're able to have sex, it should go away, right? That's what every guy thinks.
I always thought that.
Totally. Yeah. Me too. And I told my dad, because my dad, he's kind of been on my side with all this, and he was just like, hey, like she deserves to know. And I was like, shit, like I don't want to tell her. He's like, whatever the consequences are, like you just got to tell her. So I was like, okay, like that felt right. So I was like, okay, if she breaks up with me, it's just meant to be. And so I told Sarah, and obviously it was a really hard conversation. Like no girl wants to hear that the guy that they're falling in love with is looking at porn.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's such a hard conversation for both sides. But she had a lot of empathy, and I think me being honest with her so early on was like such a good indicator for her that like I'm seriously working on this.
Yeah.
And like I'm serious about overcoming this. And I didn't tell her that, I think some guys can make the mistake of like, okay, I'm going to be perfect now that I told her. What I told her was like, hey, I can't promise perfection, but I can promise honesty.
Yeah.
And like, we can talk about it whenever you want. And so,
which is so like, just think, how long ago was this?
So this was when we were dating over 5 years ago.
I just think it's so impressive. Like you're so young, you're having these conversations. I don't know.
Totally. Well, what I've learned now about that conversation and why it was so beautiful is if you look at intimacy, intimacy is into me, you see. And so when guys are hiding things, even the ugly parts of them, you're putting a wall up consciously or subconsciously in your relationship. Because, for example, if I have a secret that I'm hiding from Sarah and she pours love into me, it's like pouring love into a bucket that has holes in it. Because in my mind, I'm like, oh, she actually knew what I was doing and what I was watching, she wouldn't love me. So I'm actually like rejecting her love and not fully taking it. But when I'm like, hey, this is me, this is all of me, and then she still chooses me, it's like, that is like fireworks. Like that is connection.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of the guys that I coach, it's like, dude, we need to like put all our cards on the table in this relationship. Not even necessarily for, I mean, the wife definitely deserves to know, or a girlfriend, but more for you, so
Yeah.
you can be fully seen in this relationship.
And when you're in a relationship with someone that is hiding something, it's like you're actually so desperate for them to just fully open up. Just like show me who you are. Like it's
Totally.
so I feel like when it gets to that point and you finally do open up, people are so much more receptive because it's like I've just been waiting for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like because you can feel something's off, you know?
Oh yeah, or the connection just isn't fully there.
Yeah.
Like I have never felt so loved when I've been totally honest with Sarah and she fully accepts me. It's like seriously nothing compares to it. Back to the story. I tell her we both kind of had the expectation that it was gonna overcome this when we got married because we're gonna be intimate. And we got married, things were great, fireworks, honeymoon phase. And then it was like 8 months or a year into marriage.
Yeah. Tell me. And I'm curious as you talk about this. So is it like when you were away that you would watch porn? Or like when you're
When would I watch porn?
Yeah.
Yeah, when my wife was like gone.
Okay. Yeah.
It was how it started was like when she would leave for like
Okay.
a day or two.
Okay.
That's like when I started like fall into it.
Wait, how long into marriage did you say?
Until I fell back into it?
Yeah.
It was like 8 months.
Wow.
Or 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty long.
But the thing is we were in the honeymoon phase. Like things were just like perfect, right?
Yeah.
And then after 8 months, like real life starts to like happen again. And again, if we go back to what it was in high school, it's a way to escape. And I hadn't learned how to deal with my emotions other than escaping to porn.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in sales, like high pressure sales, running big teams, and the stress was so much on me that like my only outlet was porn.
Yeah.
Since I've learned since I was like 9. So that was kind of the breaking point. I remember that summer we had made the most money we ever had. And I remember thinking like I would trade every single penny for this to be gone. I mean, keep groceries and keep a roof over our head, but like hundreds of thousands of dollars I will pay to get this gone. And so that's when I started like investing in programs, coaches, because I was like being more spiritual just
Wait, did you open up to Sarah yet? Did you already talk about that?
So we had been open the whole relationship.
Okay, so you told her right when it happened again. And
yeah,
okay.
I was pretty honest with her, which looking back, I think there's better ways to do it. But yeah, I was open with her the whole time. So,
like, would you tell her when you wanted to?
When not at the beginning, but we have a relationship now where it's like, hey, I'm having a really hard day. And like, I saw something on Instagram and I'm just letting you know that like, I'm kind of in a triggered place. And I just want to be open with you because when I bring things to the light, it like dissipates. It really just
totally
goes away. So that's how we communicate now. But before, it was still very fragile for her. So we couldn't communicate like that.
Totally.
So, we're married and I'm at this point where I'm like, I'll trade every freaking penny for this to be gone. Like I'm so over it. And I started investing in coaches and all these things. And they were helping, but it just wasn't like solving anything. It felt like I was just putting like a band-aid over the wound. I wasn't like actually like hitting what was driving me to porn.
What were they having you do?
Again, they were helpful. Like one of them was talking about being mindful. If you have an urge, don't run from it, sit with it, which is good. But again, I don't think it's solving the actual reason why I'm trying to run from porn. And so for me, it was trauma that I was running from. And I hate the word trauma because people think it's so heavy and most people don't even think they have trauma, which I think everybody has trauma personally. But I was running from trauma. Like stuff had happened to me when I was super young that I was still running from. And I was using porn to escape. And how I got
But those things weren't like you weren't thinking about those things every day. It was just you didn't know what you were escaping really.
Totally.
Yeah.
I thought I just had a problem with lust.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is so crazy, but makes so much sense.
Totally.
And I think applies to so many things in our lives, like my addiction to my phone.
Oh, for sure.
Like what am I escaping? I don't even know, but I'm just gonna keep scrolling.
Totally. So there's this story that I love. So this lady that would go to church and she'd smoke cigarettes, right? And everyone, like, she smelled bad because cigarettes, you just smell it. And um, everyone could smell her cigarette smell. And she went up to the pulpit one day and she was like, "If only your guys' sins smelled as bad as mine." And the reason I say that is because, we all have coping mechanisms, right? We have coping mechanisms. I mean, I don't want to say this for you, but I mean, you probably have addictions with your phone or social media or overeating, not you specifically, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying in general,
Toxic relationships.
toxic
Yeah.
relationship, shopping,
Yeah.
everything. But it's like pornography is just so shamed. It's like, oh man, if only your guys' coping mechanisms were as shamed as bad as pornography is.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of hit rock bottom and I was just like, dude, what I'm doing is not freaking working. Like I have tried everything. So I start diving into the research of addiction because I'm like, I got to start from scratch. So I started researching.
And like probably too, like accepting like, oh, this is a really heavy addiction. Like it's comparable to like drugs,
Totally.
Like having to accept that is really hard.
Totally. Yeah. And I would have labeled myself back then as an addict. But now I know better not to label it as an addiction.
Really?
I would label it as a habit.
Okay.
Because the definition of addiction is that it affects your daily ability to function as a human. And I was looking at porn like maybe once a week.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't say that it was an addiction in high school.
Okay.
Because I was viewing every day.
Yeah.
But after my mission, it was not.
That's good to know. Yeah.
And that's what I tell like most guys. I'm like, bro, you're not addicted to porn. Like we got to stop that label because it's not serving us.
Yeah.
It's only making the problem worse.
Totally.
You have a habit, and just like habits are formed, habits can be broken.
Mm-hmm. No, that's beautiful. I love that analogy, and like seeing it that way.
Yeah.
Way better.
Well, when you just look at labeling as a whole, like it's just terrible for us, I think. In addiction recovery programs that the church offers and like AA stuff, it's like, my name's Hunter Clark and I'm addicted.
Yeah.
Or I'm an addict. And it's like, what are we reaffirming every time that we say that? We're just reaffirming the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So we started diving into the research, and I found some things that I was really. Or Sarah helped me here. She sent some things about psychedelic medicine and addiction.
Really? She did?
She sent it.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that.
So she sent some stuff. And then I went into the research.
She's literally the best.
She is. She's amazing. I went into the research and I researched it for about a year and a half.
Ayahuasca? Or
everything.
Okay.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
And after about a year and a half of research, I heard that podcast of the bishop that had done it from Jimmy Rex.
Yeah.
And that kind of opened the door of like, okay, like I can try this. And it's like, I'm going in with such good intentions. Like I want to quit this. And I did psilocybin for the first time.
You did it before ayahuasca?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, psilocybin. Okay. For sure.
Cool.
So I did psilocybin and I learned what I was running from. And
in your mushroom trip, you learned. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I learned what the root was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's really cool because after all of this money you'd spent on all these coaches and different things, like you just sitting down with yourself and probably being so honest, you were able to figure it out.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's hard because I'm in a position where I'm helping guys overcome this, but not everyone is going to want to do that.
Yeah.
Or feel comfortable doing it. Or do I even think everyone needs to do that? Yeah, I think what I'm trying to say is that, psychedelics have really helped me on my journey, and it's helped me understand this habit and understand addiction on such a deeper level that I do feel confident that I can help others with it without them having to do any psychedelic medicine. But for people that, have some pretty deep trauma, it's like, hey, this might be the move, right? Because psychedelics, it's like, the definition is if you look at your brain like a ski hill and people are just skiing through it, it gets all these grooves and ruts and like patterns that you fall into. And psychedelics literally has been proven to create new neural pathways in your brain. And so it's like a fresh powder snow day that you can just ski through and create new neural pathways with addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And so that had just like really, really helped me. It wasn't the silver bullet, but it showed me the direction that I needed to go. And that's the direction that I take all my guys.
And I think something interesting about psychedelics, like, and if I was listening to this and I wasn't very familiar with them, that you don't understand until you do it. Like everything that you experience is like already in your brain. Like it's not like anything external is coming in and like I don't know. Like it's
Totally.
literally all inside your brain, and you're just going through like things you've already experienced. Everything you do in plant medicine for me has felt so familiar. Like I feel like
for
I've
sure.
already explored those things, but it's like I'm way more present. Because when do you just sit for 6 hours without a phone and just like go inward? Like when do we
Totally.
ever do that? You know?
Yeah, I love how there's two types of drugs. There's disassociating drugs that like numb you, like
Yeah.
alcohol, sometimes THC
Mhm.
THC can do that. But there's drugs that go inward.
Yeah.
And like psychedelics is like a telescope into your soul. And so, yes, it's only stuff that you have in your subconscious. It's not any new things coming in.
And it seems so scary, but it's also like, wait, why are you so scared of yourself?
Yeah,
You know?
what are you afraid to find?
Yeah. Like, and the thing to realize too is that all of the things that we're terrified of, they're coming up every single day in ways that we maybe don't see. Like you're triggered all the time. So it's like plant medicine gives us this way to allow those things to come up in a healthy way and then move through them.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
I think it would be cool if I said a little bit about my experience, and so people can kind of get an idea of what a psychedelic experience could
Yeah.
look like.
Yeah.
So a little backstory: when I was like 9 years old, I went to Lake Powell with my family, and I had a second cousin who he attempted to sexually harass me, and it didn't get very far because I mean we're on a houseboat with 20 other people, right? Like
Yeah.
But what scared me so much, and I think what traumatized me, is the intention was there. Like he was trying.
Yeah.
And like there were some really close calls. And I mean, you look back at that and it's like, oh, that was nothing, right? But I didn't realize, like you said, how much it was actually affecting me, because I thought in my mind, if he wanted me, right? He's a guy. What does that mean about me? Right? Like I couldn't conceptualize gay, and I didn't understand that because I was so young, but I was like, okay, what does that mean about me? And it almost like planted this seed of like this deep fear of being gay.
Yes, totally. Yeah.
And like being gay is totally fine. I mean, now freaking 20 years ago in Utah, being gay was like the worst thing that could happen to someone,
Yeah.
or happen. And again, like for me, it was just the fear that I was so afraid of. And I think what you fear grows, and it was just like growing. And I had totally forgot about that experience. But
Wow.
my biggest fear, if you would have asked me, I wouldn't have told you this, but if we would have really been real, I'd have been like, my biggest fear is that I'm gay. Like if you pull back all the curtains, I'd fear that I was gay because of that experience. And so my first psilocybin journey, it opened up to this memory like of the experience that happened. I was almost able to come in as a third party, like higher self, and I was able to talk to my younger self, the 9-year-old boy. And then not only was I able to talk to him and give him a hug, I was able to talk to my cousin.
Wow.
And my second cousin that was, doing the trying and attempting, and I just felt so much empathy of like, man, what got you to this point? It's not just random that you're trying to do this.
Yeah,
like
no way.
were you abused? What did you grow up in to get to this point to want to do that? And I had so much empathy for my 9-year-old self and for my second cousin. And after that, the fear just went away.
Wow.
Like the realization of just like, oh, if I'm gay, that's okay. But also learning that it's stemming from this. And now that I've healed that, I'm chilling. I'm not actually gay.
Yeah.
and it was just such a beautiful experience. So that's what I mean is like it's not new thing, or you said it, it's not new things coming in. It's just, things in your subconscious that you are seeing and healing. And it shows you exactly what you need to see.
It's so beautiful. Like,
It's
and
crazy.
it will never, I believe, like, plant medicine will never give you more than you can handle, too. Like,
Mm,
it knows you. It is you. Like,
yeah,
it is your experiences in your body. Like, your body knows you. Your body is you. So it's only going to give you what you can handle,
totally.
Even in ayahuasca, people always tell me, like, I'm terrified of ayahuasca. And I'm not scared of ayahuasca anymore. It's probably one of my favorite medicines now.
Mm,
It doesn't scare me because I'm like, oh, it's only going to show me what I can handle, which can be really hard, but I can handle a lot and I'm going to work
totally.
through it, you know?
And the only thing I'd say to that is intention and setting are
Yes.
so important.
Yeah.
Because if you go, like, let's say you take psilocybin at a party or at a rave, and like you could not be ready
No.
for that.
Mm-mm.
Like some things could come up that could actually, I think, make things worse.
I've done probably like 30, 35 mushroom trips by myself. Yeah.
Freaking expert over
And
here.
the only ones I've had that have bad experiences is if it was with someone I wasn't super comfortable with. And yeah, one of them I was on my phone and like I saw something I didn't want to see.
Yeah,
and
you're toast
yeah,
on your
you're
phone.
toast. And then I was with a friend, like I had a bad feeling, like nothing against this friend, it just didn't feel super aligned that I did it with them. And then I did it and I just felt uncomfortable the whole time.
Yeah,
But any other trip, they've been really hard, but I've worked through them and it's been great. And I've never had one that I'm like, even the ones that were bad, I learned a lot. I learned that I shouldn't do it with people when I don't feel totally comfortable with them. You know what I mean? Or like I learned, do not get on your phone. Like
absolutely.
Look at how much this has affected you in this mushroom trip. This affects you in your daily life too.
Totally, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
How much is this affecting you in your daily life?
You can learn from all of it.
Totally. Yeah, and to me, it's like people are afraid of going into the cave, and let's say the cave is like the dragon, and the dragon is like your biggest fear. But it's like, imagine going into that cave and freaking coming out riding the dragon.
Literally.
Like that's how you feel
so
after you're done, because you're like, I just conquered this fear that I've been holding on to for
that affects me every single day.
It affects my daily life, and now I'm freaking riding the dragon. And so, I mean, we're obviously really biased. We tell the passion. Like, we're a little passionate about it. Yeah, and so...
Well, I think just one thing about this too is the biggest thing plant medicine has taught me is how to surrender and accept any situation.
Totally.
It has benefited my life so much, and you don't need plant medicine to do that. It does help you, but the biggest thing it's taught me in life is just to accept what's going on, and once you accept, you can progress.
Totally.
Instead of resist. Like once you just lean into that resistance, life is so much more peaceful.
I was thinking about this morning actually, where I feel like I'm learning to dance with life. And a lot of dance, I feel like, is just surrendering, and like it's like so flowy and all over the place, and hard things happen, and it's like, can I dance with these hard things? Not resist them, but dance with them.
Yeah.
And it makes life way more easy and more fun.
Totally.
In my opinion.
And like just kind of viewing everything as an opportunity. Like, oh, this shitty thing happened. Okay, let's view it as an opportunity. Like, how can I grow and how can this not happen next time? It's all kind of just like a game.
Happening to you, or happening for you, not to you.
Yes, totally.
Deal. Going back to like what we were talking about earlier with pornography, is I was able to heal this trauma that I was running from, but it was so much like pornography, because you've been doing it for so long, it's so like ingrained in you. There's usually a lot of things tied to it. It's not just like one specific moment. And that's what I've learned. It's like literally a mirror. It shows you what you're running from, or is a signal that you're running. And so what I learned, just in my experience, not only with plant medicine, but just in general, as I was going through my own journey, is just like how much shame fuels the problem. And every time that I tried to stop out of fear, out of force, out of just white knuckling, I never was able to do it. I always went back to it. Always. And I felt even worse about myself every time I did. And so for me, a lot of my recovery with pornography has been changing my relationship with it, and not viewing, I mean, this is going to sound like a freaking blasphemy to some people, but to me, not viewing it as so like bad and evil, and just as something that is neutral, and just like, hey, if I want to look at porn, I can. I totally can. And like giving myself the permission to do it, which is like really scary for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But when I did that, it was like, oh, like I was like blinded to what this actually is. Like, you know how horses sometimes have like these like things on where they can't see, they can only see just in front of them.
Yeah.
It's like there was so much shame and so much guilt and fear that I had like these blinders onto porn that I couldn't see it for what it actually was. And what it is now for me, it's like, oh, it's cheap. There's no connection. There's no depth to it that you can get with a real person, not even your wife, but just in connection in general.
Yeah.
And so for me right now, it's like I can look at porn. I totally can. I have given myself full permission to look at porn whenever I want. But by doing that, it's made me step back and be like, okay, do I actually want to do this? And
That's so cool.
when I've been able to do that, that's when I go weeks and that's when I go months without thinking about it. And if it does come up, it's like, cool, you can if you want to. But like it's like going to freaking McDonald's, like dollar menu, just food. And
Yeah.
I'm like, no. Like if my wife leaves out of town, it's like, okay, I can look at porn. I can. But when she comes back, my sexual energy is going to be depleted. I'm probably going to feel a little guilty, you know, looking at porn when my wife's gone. Not shame, but just like, probably shouldn't have done that. But it's like, no, but if I can hold this in, it's like freaking a steak Ruth's Chris like meal when she gets back.
Yes, totally.
So it's like, that's what I'm weighing out. It's like, dude, if you look at porn, that's okay. But like, come on. Like,
and I love this so much because since I was little, I mean, I was sexually abused when I was little too. And I mean, I don't know if you fully were, but like I'd experienced that so young. So
yeah.
I've always been really, really sensitive, and growing up Mormon and the culture of like pornography just pushed so in your face, like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Like I just have such negative feelings about porn. And
Totally.
it's funny you said, we're talking about how Sarah had written like, can't be with someone that's watched porn, you know, like we all wrote that when we were little.
Yeah.
And then I grew up, like I kind of became, with men, it was like, okay, like I understand like sometimes they watch it, but I always had this feeling of like I hate it. Like it bugs me so bad. Like they're watching a girl, someone's daughter, doing this stuff.
Totally.
It's crazy to me. It was never justified in my mind. My intuition was like, no. And it's crazy because when I was little, that was on my list of like my future partner. And then as I grew up, it was like not on my list anymore because I'm like, I just have to accept that men do that. And now it's on my list again. I want someone that doesn't watch porn.
Totally.
You know?
But we want someone that doesn't look porn in a healthy way. Not just like, oh, I want to look at it, but I can't.
Absolutely.
It's like me, it's like, no, I can, but I don't want to.
Yes, totally.
And there's such a...
Like, and you genuinely don't
I genuinely just don't care to. Doesn't mean that I'm perfect.
Yeah.
So this is also, I think, really important is changing our definition of what success looks like. Because a lot of guys are like, I never want to look at porn ever again. And I'm like, okay, first of all, that's kind of gnarly. Second of all, what if we got to a point that, you know, it's not a habitual thing, but maybe once a month or once every couple months, you find yourself in porn, and rather than viewing it as like, oh, I looked at porn, I'm addicted to lust, blah, 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 like all this shame, just, okay, what is off in my life that drove me to escape to pornography? So that's what I do for me, is like, if I looked at porn yesterday, or for example, I would say, okay, rather than getting so shameful about me looking at porn, what drove me to it? Oh, I'm really stressed about finances right now. I'm really stressed about work. I need to have a conversation with Sarah. I need to forgive someone. Like there's something that drove me to it, and focusing on that rather than like, I just need to fucking quit porn. It's like, no, let's just focus on what is driving you to it first. And then that's when you start to get these long streaks without even the desire to go to it. And, you know, my goal one day is to never look at porn again. But I don't want to put that pressure on myself because it creates more shame if I do, which will make me spiral into it more. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah.
I mean, I'm curious to hear from your perspective. Like,
no, 100%. Because like even as you're talking about this, I'm thinking about my relationship with social media and my phone. And I've had these feelings of like, I just have to stop. I have to completely stop. I have to, and I don't, yeah, it's interesting.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
No, because you'll delete it for 7 days and then what?
Yeah, and then I'm just right back in it.
You're right back in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, what if we changed your relationship with social media and you had a good relationship with it and you used it when it served you and then you stopped when it didn't?
Yeah.
And it's like, porn serves me as a mirror.
Even you
showing
saying that,
me,
like this weight on my chest is just like,
yeah,
you know?
totally.
It's just like, oh, okay.
Totally.
It can be way more simple than fighting.
Well, what you resist persists.
Yeah.
You know that.
Totally.
And it like, the more you resist it, the stronger it's going to get. And so my approach is so different and unique. And I'm not saying that to be unique and different and push against the grain. I'm just sharing what actually worked for me.
Yeah.
Because I freaking tried everything, Jenna.
Yeah.
Everything. And this is the only thing that's actually worked for me. Not saying that it's going to work for everybody, but it's what worked for me.
Yeah.
And now I don't fear it. Now I'm not scared of it.
And it doesn't control your entire life. It doesn't
control me.
Which is great.
I can see things on Instagram, like, things always pop up. And I'm just like, yeah, she's beautiful, but like, I'm not gonna.
And I think the most beautiful thing for me personally, looking like from an outsider's perspective, is it makes me emotional that like you've been able to shift your mindset from viewing women as a body and like you see them more as a soul. You know, like that for me is so, it's hard being a woman, like in general, not in the church or anything, just like a woman, like you're just objectified and you can't be this and you can't be that, but you're supposed to be this and you're supposed to be sexy, but you can't be sexy. And like, it's just so much mentally, you know? And so then for like to know that men exist that view women as a soul and not just a body is so powerful.
Yeah. And that's something that has been a slow journey for me. It did not happen overnight.
Yeah.
Because you condition your brain from 9 years old to see women like that.
Totally.
And so for me, it's been such a process of shifting that and slowly shifting. And now it's like I can see women at the gym and still be, attracted to them. But it's not like lust.
Yeah.
It like lust is like I need it. Like I can't do without it. But for me, it's like, yeah, she's beautiful. And I appreciate women's bodies and I appreciate beauty. And I don't want to go have sex with you because if I did, that would totally wreck everything that I have at home. Like, yeah, it might be fun, but like the risk versus reward and the lower desire versus higher desire. And it's like when I've come to that point of just like, oh yeah, like no, it'd be really fun to like be intimate with these attractive people that I see, but also just like, but that's not what I truly want.
Yeah.
Like that's just, and accepting that has been so helpful for me. And now I don't feel like I lust. I don't feel like I have a problem at the gym. I just appreciate beauty and that's it.
Well, yeah, I love that so much. That's so cool.
So, yeah, it's been a freaking journey, Jenna, and I'm still so much a student. Like I'm still learning. I'm not claiming that I have it all figured out, but I've gotten a long way.
Yeah, totally. It's so cool. All these little perspective shifts. I want you to talk a little bit about semen retention.
So my views on semen retention have been really interesting. I view semen retention as just the swing of the pendulum, right? So I had I had to give myself full permission, and that was one side. And then I started to learn about semen retention, and it kind of swung to the other. And
can you give a brief little definition?
What is semen retention? Yeah. You retain your semen.
Perfect.
And you can still be intimate with people, you just don't ejaculate. I have an interesting relationship with it. I've tried it a few times and it's gone good, and then I felt like it just kind of added more shame because like whenever I would orgasm, I would feel shame about it.
Okay, yeah.
And so it wasn't really like a healthy thing for me. What I've boiled it down to, whether you're having sex, whether you're masturbating, whatever, I think it comes down to intention. And it's like, if you're intentional about, who you do that with and how you orgasm and all this, I think that's what it really boils down to. Like, no one can say, is masturbation good or bad? I think it goes down to the intention. No one can say, is having sex good or bad? In a marriage, out of a marriage. No one can say that. I think they can just say it depends on your intention with it. And so for me, whenever I do, intimate with Sarah, I try to make it very intentional. And when it comes to like masturbation and things, if I do choose to masturbate, I want to make it intentional, and I want it to be, special and all of this. So that's what I found. I do think there is something there to retaining and letting pressure build. For me, I've seen like it's best from like 6 to 10 days is like my threshold, because I get just like this desire for Sarah that just like builds. Like, people talk about having sex like every day, which I think to each their own, but for me it's like I kind of like the pressure like building, and then I like to use that energy for my business and like socializing with people.
Yeah.
But if I'm just doing it every single day, it almost loses the intention of it. And I don't know, I'm still learning. So I'm not saying that having sex every day is not good, but that's what I've learned in my experience.
Yeah, that's really cool. I've just learned about like this idea of sexual transmutation, of just like when you feel that energy, like putting it into other things, into your creativity. And
so I've learned a lot about this recently.
Yeah?
Because I've been trying to freaking figure it out for myself.
Yeah.
Because when I stopped shaming myself for looking at porn and just the shame, my testosterone shot up from like, those who don't know, levels, you want to be like 400 to 700 is like normal. I was like 290 because I was just shaming myself so much stress and cortisol, just shame and guilt. But when I stopped shaming myself, my testosterone went to like 700.
Yeah.
And I just felt like so much more energy I didn't know what to do with. And so I started learning about sexual transmutation, of how do you like channel this energy into like your business or other areas.
Wow.
But what I learned is I was trying to put the cart before the horse, meaning like I was trying to like get all this sexual energy and then use it to build. But what I learned is that if you want to transmute sexual energy, you need to do things that you're passionate about, and that will automatically transmute the sexual energy for you. So I was getting into this like, okay, I'm gonna like build all this energy and then use it. But it's like, no, just do what you're passionate about, and it will automatically be transmuted into everything.
Yeah.
So that's what I've learned, and then that's what I try to do, is like, what am I feeling passionate about right now? And that's what I try to like direct my life to.
I love that you just keep learning more and more and more about
Oh,
this.
it's so deep,
Yeah.
Jenna.
Yeah.
It's so deep.
It's so cool.
If guys are interested in working with me, I just want to be super like transparent. Like, I am not claiming that, hey, we're gonna get you to never view porn again. But what I can claim is we're gonna change your relationship with it to get you to the point where your desire to actually view goes down.
And just like the idea that it's not going to control your entire life anymore is so beautiful, you know?
Totally. I mean, that would suck.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be there our whole lives. It's like, imagine if you just had a good
And
relationship
it's
with it.
kind of getting worse too, with everything in the world, for sure.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's getting a lot worse.
Yeah.
If anybody that's listening to this wants to work with me, what I can say is just, I'm your guide. Pornography is a symptom. It's the tip of the iceberg. And what I do with guys is I dive into what is causing that. And sometimes I'll direct you to other modalities and other tools, like we had said, if they feel comfortable. But really, it's getting rid of a lot of the shame that you have around it, changing your relationship with it, learning how to transmute energy into something that you're passionate about. And I think that's how you do it.
Yeah.
I think you're just, if you're trying to quit and just like white knuckle it, I just don't think you're going to get very far.
And I think the coolest thing, like the best healers or coaches are the ones that connect you back to yourself. And I feel like that's your whole purpose, just to help guys understand themselves and why this is a coping mechanism for you, and how you best can like just be more of yourself and like not have this in the way anymore.
Totally.
Yeah. And you just hit 10K followers on Instagram, which is so
10K,
exciting.
yeah.
Because you're doing what you're so passionate about, and
took a while.
You're helping so many people. And I'm sure it's going to grow and grow and grow, which is so exciting.
Well, I just feel Like, if I'm being honest, like, it's what I'm passionate about. It's what I'm good at. And it's like, that's what I think business should be. I don't love the idea that it just like, I'm going to create this business to make money.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to create this business because I actually understand it and I actually feel like I can help people. And because of that, the more value you add to the market, the more that you're going to get paid. That's my belief. And it's showing right now. Like, I'm actually adding value to the market. I'm actually solving a real problem in the world and I am getting compensated for
Totally.
that. And I'm passionate about it. And so that's my philosophy on business and all that.
I love it.
Not that you asked.
No, I did. I want to know. We need to know. So
Um,
working with you, do you just have most people just like contact you on Instagram and?
yeah, I would say DM me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is _hunter.clark.
Okay, I'll add it.
And we're goofy on there. We're not just posting about porn stuff. Like,
Yeah.
the only way
Because
I've
also
seen,
healing can be fun. It's exciting, you know?
and there's humor in it
Yeah.
too.
Totally.
And I try to embrace a little bit of that too.
Cool.
So
Okay, well, a question I ask everyone on my podcast is, if you could have everyone in the world understand one thing, what would it be?
something that's actually changed my life is viewing things in terms of relationships. Not relationships necessarily to people, but how is your relationship with your phone? How is your relationship with your body? How is your relationship with your food? How is your relationship with social media? How is your relationship with porn? And viewing it as relationships, and sometimes these are toxic relationships that we need to adjust and get out of. And other times it's like, oh, I have a great relationship with this. And it's like, that perspective and that view that I've learned has helped me in so many
I love
areas
that.
of my life.
Mhm.
So that's what I would say
Cool.
is how is your relationship to things, and viewing it in that way can
Yeah.
be healthy.
Yeah, and just like you would nurture like your relationship with your wife. Like, how are you going to figure it out with yourself, with money, with sex, with all these things?
Yeah, and with social media, it's not just delete it.
Yeah.
We need to learn.
Yeah, you're not just going to remove your partner. Yeah.
We need to have a good relationship with it.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on. You're the
Yes,
best.
that was fun.
In the name of vulnerability, amen.
Amen.